The banging on the front door shook the quiet morning like a hammer breaking glass. Evelyn Carter flinched so hard her teacup rattled on the saucer. She was 76, small and soft-spoken, with silver curls tucked into a floral scarf and warm brown eyes that had always seen the best in people. But today, those eyes carried something else: fear. Her husband, Henry, 79, tall but frail, leaned heavily on his cane as he shuffled toward the door. His once powerful hands, now marked with age spots and tremors, hovered over the knob before he finally opened it. Take a second to like, share, and subscribe. It helps these stories reach more people who need to hear them. Two men in gray suits stood on the porch, cold, expressionless, holding a notice. "Mr. and Mrs. Carter," one said flatly, "this property is being repossessed. You have 48 hours to vacate." Evelyn's hand flew to her chest. "Vacate? This is our home. We've lived here for 52 years. The man didn't blink. Failure to pay updated property taxes resulted in automatic seizure. Henry shook his head. But we did pay. There must be a mistake." "There's no mistake," the other man snapped. "We don't debate. We enforce." And just like that, they walked away, leaving the elderly couple frozen in their doorway, holding the paper that threatened to erase a lifetime. For the next 2 days, Evelyn barely slept. Henry pretended to be strong, but she could see the worry hiding in his tired eyes. They didn't know who to call. They didn't have money for lawyers, and they were too proud to ask neighbors for help. But they did have children, just not in the traditional way. The Carters never had biological kids. Instead, over decades, they had quietly taken in children from the neighborhood, kids with nowhere to go, kids who needed food, kindness, and a safe place to sleep. Some stayed for months, some for years, and some became family forever. Those now grown children had scattered across the country, building new lives. Evelyn didn't want to burden them. She didn't call. But fate did. The message traveled faster than she ever could have imagined. A former neighbor posted online, "They're trying to evict the Carters. If anyone knows their adopted kids, please reach out." By dawn, the world shifted. The first car rolled up in front of the Carter home at 5:12 a.m. Marcus, now a decorated firefighter, stepped out, broad-shouldered, jaw clenched, still wearing his gear from a night shift. He hugged Evelyn so tightly she nearly cried into his shoulder. "Who did this?" he demanded. Before she could answer, another car pulled in behind him, then another, then two more. Jasmine, the lawyer. Eli, the tech entrepreneur. Rosa, the community organizer. And Jaden, the youngest, now a police officer. One by one, they came. Every child she had loved, every soul she had once sheltered, they filled the yard like a small army. Henry watched from the porch, overwhelmed, whispering, "My God, they came home." Jasmine spread the eviction notice on the kitchen table. Her sharp eyes scanned every line. "This is fraudulent. The signatures are forged. This isn't legal at all." Eli slammed his hand on the counter. "They targeted them because they're elderly and black. They thought no one would fight back." Jaden's voice dropped low. "I know people inside the sheriff's office. I can make calls." Marcus crossed his arms. "And if they try to come back, they'll go through me first." Evelyn's lips trembled. "Children, we don't want trouble." "It's not trouble," Rosa said gently, taking her hand. "It's justice." At 10 a.m., the eviction agents returned, with a tow truck, 3 workers, and a lock-changing crew. But this time, they weren't alone. A wall of people stood on the Carters' lawn. Neighbors, community members, former foster families, and at the front, the Carter children, shoulder to shoulder. Henry rested his hand on Marcus's arm. "Son, don't start anything." Marcus held his gaze. "I won't, Dad, but I'm not letting them take your home." The men in suits stepped forward. "You all need to stand aside. We are repossessing this property." Jasmine held up a folder. "No, you're not. This eviction order is illegal and unenforceable. We've already reported your company for fraud." Jaden stepped up beside her in uniform. "And until the investigation is completed, any action taken against this property will be considered harassment." The agents faltered. They exchanged confused looks. But then their supervisor barked, "We don't answer to you people. Move!" And that was when Rosa stepped forward, raising her phone. "You might want to rethink that. We're live streaming to over 40,000 viewers." And behind her, dozens of phones lifted into the air. The supervisor froze. Jasmine smiled coldly. "Still want to proceed?" The men retreated to their truck. Moments later, the entire crew drove off without a word. The crowd erupted in applause, but Evelyn, her legs gave out. Marcus caught her before she fell. "Mom, it's over. You're safe." Tears streamed down her face. "You all came for us?" Jaden wiped Henry's eyes. "You raised us. Now it's our turn." Over the following week, the Carter children worked tirelessly. Eli paid for a full audit, exposing a property scam that had targeted multiple elderly homeowners. Jasmine filed a lawsuit. Rosa organized community support. Marcus repaired the porch and installed new locks. And Jaden ensured police patrols increased around the neighborhood. And the city took notice. New laws were drafted, corrupt officials were removed, families who had already been evicted were compensated and rehoused. All because one couple refused to give up, and because the children they once saved never forgot them. One evening, Evelyn stood on the porch with Henry, watching their grown children laughing in the yard. "Do you realize," Henry whispered, "we built this family without a drop of blood? Just love." Evelyn leaned her head on his shoulder. "And that," she said softly, "is why no one could ever take our home." The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky gold. Their home stood strong, and so did the family they created, proof that love, once planted, grows into something powerful enough to defy injustice itself.